something was said the 19th, so it was a couple days ago now. Something was said by Donald Trump, and for just a brief instance of time, all of the bravado melts away. And you see the insecure human underneath. And maybe he will see this video. And if he does, I hope that he takes my words to heart. So a few days ago, when he was talking to Fox about Zelensky and Putin and the war in Ukraine, he said the following. He said, I want to end it. You know, we're not losing American lives. We're losing Russians and Ukrainians, mostly soldiers. I want to try and get to heaven, if possible. I hear I'm not doing well. I'm really at the bottom of the totem pole. But if I can get to heaven, this will be one of the reasons. This small statement shows how much Trump deals with the same things that we do in his heart, underneath everything else, underneath the showmanship, underneath the bravado, underneath the Christian nationalism, underneath the white supremacy, underneath all of the things that Trump has come to represent in the United States. This little phrase, I want to try and get to heaven. I'm not doing well. I'm at the bottom of the totem pole. You will not get to heaven by ending the Ukraine war. You won't. Jesus gave very explicit instructions on what needs to be done, how to follow Jesus, what it means to be a follower of Jesus. I am a former evangelical pastor who walked away from Christianity, and I walked away from the church, and I am more of a follower of Jesus today than I ever was when I claimed to be a Christian. I want to read a passage from the book of Matthew, where Jesus talks to the rich young ruler. In this passage, in Matthew chapter 19, it says, Now behold, one came and said to him, Good teacher, what good thing shall I do that I may have eternal life? And so Jesus said to him, Why do you call me good? No one is good but one, and that is God. But if you want to enter into life, keep the commandments. And the guy said to him, Which ones? So Jesus said, You shall not murder. You shall not commit adultery. You shall not steal. You shall not bear false witness. Honor your father and mother, and you shall love your neighbor as yourself. And the young man said to him, All these things I have kept since my youth. What do I still lack? And Jesus said to him, If you want to be perfect, go, sell what you have, and give it to the poor, and you will have treasure in heaven. And come, follow me. But when the young man heard that saying, he went away sorrowful, for he had great possessions. So there's a few things to pay attention to when we're talking about this passage. First, Jesus gives a list of things. These are his things. He's like, don't do these. These are bad. Don't kill people. Don't do things that result in people getting killed. That's bad. Don't commit adultery. Don't cheat on your partner. Don't steal. Don't lie. Don't lie about people. Don't lie to people. Don't make up lies about people. Don't lie about yourself to other people. Don't go on Truth Social and spew falsehoods. Those are things that you have to come to grips with, that you have to get right with God on. As someone who claims to be a Christian, it is vitally important that you come to grips with these things between yourself and God. But it's the last two that I think need to be the primary focus of conversation. The first, you shall love your neighbor as yourself. In Matthew chapter 22, verses 36 through 40, the disciples come to Jesus, and I think it was the disciples or the Pharisees, I don't remember for sure. They come to Jesus and they say, which is the greatest commandment in the law? And Jesus replied, love the Lord your God with all your heart and all your soul and all your mind. This is the first and greatest commandment, and the second is like it, love your neighbor as yourself. All the law and the prophets hang on these two commandments. Jesus is saying the number one most important thing is to love God, and number two is to love your neighbor. Who is your neighbor? Your neighbor is the Samaritan. It's the Jew. It's the Pharisee. It's the Roman. It's the immigrant. It's the people of color. It's the people that are in the LGBT community. Your neighbor is everyone. Your neighbor is all of humanity. It's not just the people you like. It's not just the people that are around you that think and feel and look and act the same way you do. Your neighbor is everybody. And when we live in a world where people of color are being attacked, where the trans community is being attacked, where the LGBT community is being attacked, where women are being attacked, by your administration, you cannot claim to love your neighbor. There has to be a course correction. You are genuinely concerned about wanting to get to heaven, and you want to work to end a war in Ukraine and Russia, which is admirable, don't get me wrong, while simultaneously actively committing harm against your neighbors. You are not going to get into heaven by ending the war in Ukraine while you are actively harming people here in this country. And then the second passage in verse 21 of Matthew chapter 19, he says, if you want to be perfect, go and sell all you have and give to the poor, and you will have treasure in heaven, and then come and follow me. You cannot love your neighbor if you live in riches and your neighbor lives in squalor. You cannot love your neighbor if you hoard wealth while trampling others underfoot. You cannot say, I love my neighbor, while you feast and they eat scraps of garbage. Jesus did not expect the rich young ruler to go and live on the streets. He expected him to make sure that the poor were taken care of. Jesus' words in these passages were clear. Not just follow the commandments, but do so in love. Love your neighbors and love God. But like the rich young ruler, you have a choice, because the rich young ruler went away saddened because he didn't want to give up his things. He did not love his neighbor, and he cherished his riches over the lives of others. If you want to get into heaven, think about and meditate on these passages and other passages like them. And figure out who you are and who you want to be.